Hello and welcome to this video on full information maximum likelihood versus multiple imputation. What is better for handling missing data? My name is Geiser, I'm an instructor with QuantFish. Full information maximum likelihood, or FIML, and multiple imputation are two methods for handling missing data. And those are very powerful methods because they don't require the data to be missing completely at random in order to produce valid results, but instead only the less restrictive missing at random data mechanism is required. Both of these techniques are based on the same statistical theory and asymptotically should give you the same or at least very similar results. Nonetheless, there are differences and subtleties in the practical application of FIML versus multiple imputation, and those I want to discuss here in this video. So let's begin with full information maximum likelihood, or FIML. What are the key features of FIML when it comes to handling missing data? The first issue here is that it is very easy to use. Full information maximum likelihood is now implemented in most programs for structural equation modeling. So whenever you have a model that fits within this structural equation modeling framework, such as also, for example, multiple regression analysis or a t-test, then you can use FIML in those programs. And of course, you can use it for techniques such as path analysis, structural equation modeling, and factor analysis. And then in general programs such as Mplus, you can use it for any maximum likelihood based technique. Also, for example, mixture modeling, latent class modeling, latent profile analysis, and other related techniques. Full information maximum likelihood doesn't change your data because it doesn't impute scores. So you end up with the same data set as before, and you don't have to have any imputed data points in there that you have to deal with. And some people prefer that. So some people prefer to not have any imputations in their data sets for whatever reason. FIML allows you to very easily include auxiliary variables. For example, the Mplus software has an option that's called auxiliary M, where you can just simply list your auxiliary variables that you want to include in the analysis to make the missing at random mechanism more likely to hold. You don't have to include them in complex ways in your model. You just simply list them in one line of code. And then Mplus, for example, will include those in your analysis, will take into account correlates of missing data that may be helpful to establish the MAR mechanism. FIML is also computationally simpler than multiple imputation and less prone to errors. So with multiple imputation, you really have to know what you're doing. You have to do it right. Otherwise, you can end up with something that is incorrect, that is biased, or that leads to a lot of trouble. With FIML also we encounter fewer convergence problems and fewer issues when we then fit the model to all the different imputed data sets, because there's only one data file and we simply use all the information that is contained in the data file. We don't have to use multiple imputed data files, so it can be faster and can be less prone to errors than multiple imputation. Next, the technique is applicable to all kinds of models that use maximum likelihood estimation that I already mentioned, including structural equation models, but also many other techniques that can be estimated with maximum likelihood, such as mixture models, latent class models, and others, logistic regression, for example, as well. And you end up with a single deterministic solution. So the solution will be the same if you do it again, whereas with multiple imputations, depending on how the imputations go and how many you use, you may end up with different results. And that may also be something that bothers certain people, because if then a colleague runs the same analyses on a different computer, they might end up with something that looks a little bit different because it's a stochastic solution, it's an aggregate about across imputed data sets, and those imputed data sets can vary depending on how you do it and how many of those you use. So that comes also with the simplification that you don't have to aggregate the results across multiple imputed data sets as you have to do when you use multiple imputation. With FIML, you get one and only one solution, and that solution will be the same if you estimate it on a different computer with the same settings as before. You'll reproduce the exact same solution. So in summary, it's a very simple approach. You often don't even notice it. So for example, when you use Mplus, it doesn't even tell you this was based on full information maximum likelihood. You simply get your output as if you had complete data, and it's based on all available information in your data set without you having to do anything other than maybe think about which auxiliary variables would be useful to include, and of course think about whether the missing at random mechanism is a reasonable assumption to make. So a very simple solution that doesn't require a lot of thinking. Not a lot can go wrong with it if you apply it in the correct situations. Now, what about multiple imputation? Why would we even consider using multiple imputation, since FIML is so simple, so straightforward, easy to implement, and also fairly general? Now, multiple imputation is more general than FIML because it can be applied to techniques or models. Statistical models can be used beyond those that can be used with with maximum likelihood estimation. So you can apply any technique that you may want once you have your imputed data sets. Also, it results in complete data sets, and that may be something that you may like. So under certain situations, we might like the idea that we impute once, then we have complete data, and then we fit whatever models we want, whatever statistical analyses we want to this complete set, or these sets of complete cases. Whereas with FIML, it's new in every analysis. So for every analysis, you would again use those cases that have the amount of information that's there, whereas with multiple imputation, you impute once, then you have your complete data sets, and then you apply whatever you want. And that has a certain appeal as well, that you don't have to basically reinvent the wheel every time, because you do this imputation stuff once and then you apply your statistical analyses. Multiple imputation, like FIML, allows us to include auxiliary variables. However, with multiple imputation, those already have to be included in the imputation phase, not in the model estimation phase. And so that comes with certain difficulties, because if you have many variables that you want to include, then the imputations become more complicated and it can take longer, it can be more computationally demanding. As I already mentioned, imputed data sets, once they are obtained, can be used for any type of statistical analysis, not just statistical analyses that can be done with maximum likelihood estimation. And that may be an advantage if you have a wide array of methods that you want to use, not all of which may be doable using maximum likelihood estimation. Also, and that may be the key advantage of multiple imputation over FIML, it is the method of choice when you have categorical variables with missing data. So let's say, for example, you want to run a factor analysis at the item level. Your items are binary or ordinal, meaning ordered categorical. They're not continuous, not metrical or interval scale. In that situation, multiple imputation is the better choice. FIML is not a good idea to use with categorical data for example, factor analysis. So in that situation, my recommendation is always to use multiple imputation to impute categorical variables before you run your factor analysis. Also, multiple imputation is the method of choice for certain complex analyses, complex models, where FIML wouldn't lead to the correct results. For example, if you have interaction models, then you want to impute with the interaction terms. And so that's more complex. And then in those situations, it is better to use imputation than full information maximum likelihood. Now, one downside is that multiple imputation definitely is more difficult and more complex to implement correctly. So it requires more knowledge, it requires more checking, and more things can go wrong. So if it's not done right, it's not a good thing. So if you do it wrong, then what you get may be completely off the mark, and so therefore it requires a certain expertise, and I wouldn't recommend doing it if you're not exactly sure about what you're doing and if you're doing it correctly. In that situation, if possible, I would use full information maximum likelihood. Multiple imputation is also computationally more demanding and more prone to estimation errors or estimation complications. It can take a long time. It may sometimes go beyond the capabilities of what a computer can do if you have many variables. For example, imputing many categorical variables can be challenging sometimes. So that is also a downside, whereas FIML is very easy to implement computationally and less prone to errors. With multiple imputation, we also see more convergence problems than we typically do with full information maximum likelihood. Another thing that some people may not like is that the results can differ depending on which imputed data sets you use, how they were generated, and how many also you generated. So it makes a difference whether you use 20 or 50 or 100 imputed data sets, and if you do it on different computers with different starting value sets or something like that, then you may get different results depending on how this is done. And so that is different with FIML. With FIML, there's one and only one solution, and that will be stable across different computers or different runs typically. So therefore, this is something that also you should keep in mind, that of course between imputations there's variations in the results, and the results need to be aggregated across multiple imputed data sets. That can be tedious, this aggregation phase, unless you have a software program like Mplus, which makes this very easy for you, where Mplus already gives you the summary in the output with all the average scores and standard errors and everything already summarized neatly, so that you can then simply look at the output as if you had analyzed a single complete data set. But some programs don't do that. For some programs you have to still do the aggregation manually, and then that's another step that you totally don't have to do with full information maximum likelihood. So in summary, we can say full information maximum likelihood is simpler. Easier, less can go wrong. For beginners, it's the technique of choice that I would always recommend, as long as you have continuous variables, meaning interval scale variables. In that situation, there's hardly any reason to ever use multiple imputation unless you're dealing with special types of statistical models that require that. Now, multiple imputation I would really only use typically for categorical variables, for which FIML wouldn't be appropriate, or other statistical techniques for which FIML couldn't be used. So that would be the summary. FIML, simpler; multiple imputation, more complicated. Only use it if it's really necessary. I hope you found this video useful. My name is Christian Geiser, and I'll see you in the next video.